Hi everybody, it's Miranda with Multiplicity Crafts, and today I'm celebrating my friend Keionna's 1,000 YouTube subscribers milestone, and we're celebrating with a reverse hop. Now in this reverse hop, Keionna will be hopping from channel to channel, and we encourage you to do the same as well. So she's going to be taking over my channel today, which is awesome and an honor because she's such a wonderful crafter. I hope you enjoy the craft that she makes for you today. So she will be showing you a new craft video every week for 5 Saturdays from July 25th to August 22nd. So I will link to the previous videos that have already played in my description box and the future ones to come. And the best part of the hop for you is, guess what? Keionna is giving away a $100, that's right, $100 craft gift card open worldwide to each winner. So that'll be 5 Saturdays, so there'll be 5 winners. So yeah, that's awesome. So to enter, all you have to do is just leave me a comment here on this video and also be subscribed to my channel as well as Keionna's channel, and I'll have all that information linked below for you. Now let's hop right in and see what Keionna is going to make for us today.
Well, hello, all of my crafty friends. It's Keionna, the Craft Therapist, here again today with week number 4 of my reverse hop. I am so glad that you guys have been hopping along with me, and I hope that you guys are enjoying. So today I am going to be using some digital images from Clair. I've already placed them into my Cricut and did a print then cut on them. I'm using some Copic markers to do some of my alcohol marker coloring today, and I wanted to do something that wasn't quite as bright and vibrant, but going into more, I tried muted tones, I think. Let me say I think. I was just going for a more subdued type of look for these colors today, just because here where I am, we are starting to really feel those fall vibes. The temperatures are dropping to the 50s at night. It's not getting more than the mid 70s during the day, so it's a pretty nice time, and fall is my very favorite time of the year. So if you guys have not had the opportunity to follow along with me, I just wanted to give you guys a little bit of information about this reverse hop. Over the last few weeks, there will be a total of 5. This is week number 4. I have hopped to one of my gracious friends' channels each Saturday. I started out on Courtney's channel, I went to Cassie's channel, Jamie's channel, now I'm here on Miranda's channel, and I will end on Amanda's channel. And all of that information can be found in the description box below. And each week I am doing a giveaway of a prize that is valued at $100 through Rafflecopter. The Rafflecopter link is also found in the description box. All you have to do is click on it. It will ask you to do a couple of steps, each worth 1 entry. And then next week, when I am on Amanda's channel, I will announce the winner from this week. There are 5 different weeks to win 5 prizes. Just a way for me to say thank you to the crafting community for all that you guys do, all of the support and love that I see, and to let you guys know that I am super excited that I have reached this amazing goal of 1,000 subscribers. We've surpassed that now, but I am still excited and wanted to celebrate. So I hope that you guys will hop along. If it is your first time seeing me, Thank you guys so much. I hope that I provide something that you love, and all of my information is in the description box as well. So I want to get to this coloring. I decided with these leaves, I was going to use a BG combination, and I will have the colors that I used listed in the description box as well. I was having a little bit of a glitch with my computer at this point where the numbers on my caps were showing backwards and not easily read. So I did not put those up on the screen, but I'm using a BG combination for the leaves. And then I went in with a darker R combination for these little berries that I have. And I am always going to put in my lightest color first because I like to do mapping. That gives me an idea of where my darkest colors are going to be. So like right here, I'm using this V combination, and I'm just going around with my very lightest color, trying to figure out with all of these leaves and petals and lines, where do I want my darkest areas to be? Once I get that mapped out, then I can either sometimes I will build my color up, which means I will go lightest, mid-tone, and darkest. But then there are other times like here when my images are not very, very big, that I will just go straight in with my darkest color and start working my way out. So I will go with my very lightest color just to map out my shadow areas, and then I will come in with my darkest mid-tone, my mid-tone, and then my lightest to pull out the colors so that I get a nice variation of colors. The only exception to that is when I do skin, I always build up and then come back down, and typically I go a second round just to get all of my blending done very well. When I'm doing flowers, sometimes I want to see the texture in the leaves, so if some of the flick marks are showing, that to me adds additional interest to your floral images, so that doesn't bother me as much. So again, trying to use a kind of muted purple color combination for this image just to give more of a subdued cool weather vibe with these images. So then I am going in and I'm coloring some more of these florals. I've tried to keep all of the same types of florals in the same color combination. Sometimes I don't do a really good job at that. I get excited and get into the groove of coloring, and it's just whatever color I pick up and choose to use. I mean, all of the colors match, but sometimes all of the florals don't match. So this time, I think I was a little more conscious in my coloring, and I kept all of the same flowers for the most part the same. I was very, very happy with this image. It was an amazing image that came from one of the Clair digital sets. And in this set, not only do you get this coffee cup with the florals, there are 2 additional coffee cups that come with florals, a ton of sentiments, and these other single flowers that you see sprinkled around. So a huge value for a digital set. And I will tell you, I have began to really love working with digitals because it gives me the option of making each image the size that I need for what I have going on in my imagination. You know, sometimes you'll get a stamp or a sentiment and you'll want it to be just a little bit bigger or a little bit smaller, or you'll want the floral images or the in person or whatever it is to be going the other direction. And working with digital images gives you the opportunity to do all of those things. Like I want to make a his and her and I want to flip one of the cups, you can do that. I want to make this flower bigger than that one, you can do that. And so I really enjoy that aspect of working with digital images. Still not sure that I prefer digital images, but I do find that I have some enjoyment in working with them, especially once you learn that you can use these images in a variety of softwares. I know for myself, a lot of times I will use my Adobe Photoshop, but I also use Adobe Spark, which is a free program, Microsoft Word, and Cricut Design Space, I have a ton of different options for designing my images. So that is also a plus for me in the ability to use digitals. So I'm going in with this blue combination, and again I was trying to go muted, but as I'm looking at it, this one looks a little brighter, and it may just because it is the lightest color at this point in the majority of the leaves. But I just wanted these fall vibes because fall is my absolute favorite time of the year. As a matter of fact, where I'm living right now, it really has me smitten because I actually can walk around. I mean, you have to wear sweaters, you want to wear boots. The leaves are changing. Like, it is a true fall feeling. Now, the winters are brutal. And I don't mind those either, as long as I don't have to drive. I'm not a driver in the snow. But I love the fact that you have clear delineations of the seasons. I am loving it. And so I am thinking, is this a good place to retire? So it's definitely one of those things that are up in the air. So one of the questions that I have for you guys today, because I always do a question of the day, because my favorite part of doing all of this is the interaction that I get to see with you guys. So, question for the day: what is your favorite season and why? Tell me what your favorite season and why in the description box. I mean, not in the description box, in the comment section below. And I will come back, and I always read all of your comments and respond to them as needed. So I am done with the majority of the florals in this image. Now I'm going to color up this coffee just using some earth tones to get a variation of color, just to kind of emulate what I like my color coffee to look like. Then I'm going to go ahead and work on these individual florals here, and I'm using a darker V combination, or not B combination, R combination for this floral set. Again, because I always think of like those colors like Merlot and olive green, mustard yellow when I'm thinking about those fall vibes. Can you guys see that I am like totally a fall vibes person? I am like beaming with enjoyment about discussing this. Although I'm not really a huge pumpkin spice person. Like, I like pumpkin spice, but I'm not a over the top, everything has to be pumpkin spice type of person. That's just some extra information in case you wanted to know. So I'm going to go in, and what I'm doing is I'm bringing the colors that I used from the coffee cup and those florals out into these other images, because what I have in my head is kind of making these look as if they are blowing away from the cup in a fashion on the card front. And I hope that I'm able to bring that idea to light. So make sure you're watching and tell me if my card layout in the end looks as if these single floral images can represent blowing away from the coffee cup when I get done. Again, working out from darkest to lightest and making sure that I leave a small area for my highlight, because I have figured out that one of the biggest things about coloring with alcohol markers is the importance of having that really, really dark color and that really, really light color, so that you have some variation in your image and it shows dimension. When you are able to bring in those dark colors versus the lighter colors, it really does give your floral images some life. And when I initially started using Copics, it was just because I had seen other individuals using it on YouTube, and I really wanted to see what the hype was about. At that point, I had the Spectrum Noirs, which I still don't think are a bad marker, and I just wanted to see what the hype was about. So I got the Copics. Now, the one thing that I feel like I did in reverse was I got the Spectrums, then I got the Copics, and then I started doing classes. I would really recommend doing that in the opposite fashion. But once I started doing my marker classes through Kit and Clowder, and having the ability to chat with Alyce and having her input and her video tutorials, I really gained so much from her in creating better images. So now I feel like I can do a decent job. I am still in progress. I can do a decent job coloring florals with whatever medium I am using. So now that I'm done with all of my images, I'm going to bring in my Spectrum Noir sparkle pen and I'm going to sparkle up everything because I love the sparkles. Then I'm going to bring in some Tombow Mono multi-glue and I'm going to go around the stripes on these coffee mug on the coffee mug and the centers of some of the florals. I'm going to kind of flatten that out and make sure that it's not going outside of the lines. And I'm going to let that dry because Tombow Mono multi-glue dries repositionable. And so once it is dry, it will be tacky to the touch, and that is what I need. I also had my Cricut cut out just the shadow pieces of all of my images multiple times. Some were cut out 3 times like the coffee mug, some 4, some 2, some only 1. And so now I'm going to take all of those florals and I'm going to glue them down and stack them up, and that will create some chipboard pieces for me that will also give a varying amount of dimension to the front of my card. So I'm going to go through and I'm going to do all of those. Don't worry, I won't make you watch all of that because it could become very cumbersome and kind of boring. So after I get all of those stacked up, then the next thing that I am going to do is I am going to bring in the coffee cups and I'm going to do the exact same thing. Now the coffee cups I have stacked up 3 times, and then all the others there is a variety of how many are left. Now I have this and it is tacky to the touch, and what I'm going to do is I'm going to bring in some gold Deco foil. This will transfer the Deco foil because that Tombow Mono multi-glue is tacky. I'm going to rub it down really good with my bone folder and we are going to get some beautiful shine to add to this image. Now I'm going to use my craft knife just to kind of pull up anything that kind of got out of the lines, not too much. And then I'm going to bring in my white gel pen for these florals that did not have a center, but they had, is it stamen? I think it's stamen coming out of the center, and I am going to go ahead and dot those and draw a couple of lines to bring that back and to make that pop a little. Once I get that done, then I'm going to go ahead and pop all of these out, and I am going to start gluing them on to the top of our shadow pieces that we created. So once we get all of those placed where I want them to be, and we can go ahead and use my I use the art glitter glue, and I usually purchase that from maymaymadeit.com. So I'm going to take my art glitter glue and I'm going to glue together all of my images, and this is kind of what we're going to come up with. We have some chipboard pieces. I love for them to be thick, and I love to see some level of dimension on the front of my cards. To me, it just really gives you that feel of quality and sturdiness when you are creating your cards. And if any of you guys have been around for a while, you know that I do layers on my cards because I like to mat my panel onto a couple of layers before placing it onto the card base, again because that's just the purpose. I really enjoy having those layers for thickness. So now I'm going to go ahead and start working on my card layout, and this is where I was talking about kind of wanting that look of these other florals are kind of flying away from the cup and possibly getting closer to you because of the variation in size. So tell me what you guys think. Now I'm going to try to get it back in this arrangement, but I'm pretty sure I did not do that. Now, these are some of the sentiments. I'm going to use one that says, "Where God guides, He provides." And that is going to be our sentiment for the front of our card. I'm just going to fussy cut this out, and then I'm just going to do kind of a wonky cut around the sentiment to give a little bit of shape to it. Which is a great idea if you don't necessarily have a die for cutting something out, or you have a font that you wouldn't want to cut out. This is a great way to place your sentiment. So now I'm going to begin gluing everything where I want it to be, and I glued the sentiment down flat. That is the one thing that is flat on the card, and this is what we come up with. I love the level of dimension that we get with this card. So this is on a black card panel. You can see that it lifts up in multiple dimensions on the front of the card. Now I'm going to bring in some white glitter cardstock, and that is going to be my first mat for my card. So I'm going to go ahead and mat that. Now my front panel is a 4x6, and then I did the white in a 4.5 by 6.5. I had my Cricut write out one or the sentiment that I want on the inside, and I used a variety of things. I used the gold vinyl as well as using the Cricut pens just to provide some variation for the writing that I have on the inside of my card. So this is just one of the scriptures that I enjoy, and I thought that it would go very well with the front of the card. So I'm going to take that and I'm going to mat it on a piece of black cardstock, and then I will mat the black piece of cardstock onto the white glitter cardstock. So that's kind of what I usually do, is I make sure that I do the inside of my card as well as the front of my card, and my mats usually match inside and outside. So this is what the inside of our card will look like. And then I'm going to bring in a top fold 5x7 card base because I love working in 5x7s. It gives me more room to play around with. And then I am going to place that on the inside of our card and try my best to get that straight. And then I am going to bring in our card front, and I did make my card front cover the entirety of a 5x7 card. So that did not make that 4.5. It made it 5x7. And my black panel is 4.5 by 6.5. And this is what our card ends up looking like. I really enjoyed it, and I enjoyed spending this time with you guys. I hope you guys enjoyed, and I hope you guys have an amazing rest of the day. Bye-bye.